Tonight, our Call 6 investigators have uncovered the alarming condition of thousands of trucks rolling down Indiana's busiest roads.
You see them and you might get nervous from time to time driving by those big semis. You might even wonder if they're safe. Well, Call 6 investigator Kara Kenny joins us now with information that could have you thinking differently about sharing the road. Kara.
That's right, Jenna. Last year, Indiana State Police found more than 6,000 trucks in such bad shape, officers immediately pulled them off the road. But state police admit due to staffing, they don't catch everything, meaning potentially dangerous trucks are out on the road next to you and me.
We used to go and cook out our dinner on the beach and then stick around for the sunset.
Robin Van Dyke and her husband Dan lived a happy life.
He just was a great guy. We had a wonderful relationship. We had no children, which afforded us the opportunity to travel.
But it all changed February 3rd, 2011.
My entire life was ripped away.
Dan was driving on I-94 when he slowed for a car that had spun out on the slippery highway. That's when a semi-truck slammed into the back of Dan's car.
Well, my husband was killed.
Robin filed a wrongful death suit against the trucking company Celadon and its driver. What exactly caused the crash is part of a legal battle. But an engineer hired by Celadon testified the truck's brakes were out of adjustment. Kenneth Allen is Robin's attorney.
The bottom line is the equipment was unsafe. That truck shouldn't have been on the road.
The Call 6 investigators found thousands of large trucks in Indiana with serious problems. Problems discovered after they'd been driving on Indiana's busiest roads alongside you and me. Federal records show in 2012, officers pulled more than 6,000 trucks off the road because of dangerous flaws. Inspection reports pulled from central Indiana show unsafe tires, defective turn signals, brake issues, and unsecured loads.
Then I want to check the suspension, make sure that the suspension's secured.
At the Richmond Way station, an alarming moment.
You know, could have killed somebody.
Inspectors are pulling this semi off the road for a serious steering problem.
What could have happened if you hadn't pulled this guy out?
He would lose his steering and could possibly have an accident.
Were you aware that there were some mechanical issues with your truck?
No.
Did you check it out this morning?
Sure.
In addition to the steering, inspectors also found a brake not working.
But the brake is not making contact at all with the drum.
Brakes and steering, two factors a University of Michigan study shows significantly increase the risk of having a crash.
What can you say in response to these violations?
Unexpected.
You didn't know that they were there?
No, of course not.
The Indiana Motor Truck Association estimates 1 million trucks pass through Indiana every day, the crossroads of America. Indiana State Police say they have about 72 troopers and inspectors dedicated to daily truck mechanical inspections. That's one inspecting officer for every 13,000 trucks.
It's just like going fishing. You can't catch everything.
Which is why Master Trooper Kelly Lazelle tries to make every inspection count.
There's a lot of vehicles that shouldn't be out here. They cause crashes. I mean, they can break windshield out. Some vehicles try to drive down the road with flat tires and try to get to the next exit or whatever.
Troopers like Lazelle spend their time evaluating a slew of things other than mechanical problems, like ticketing this trucker for running a red light. During the stop, Lazelle discovered an unsecured load and the trucker failed to log his miles. He immediately pulled the truck off the road.
I'm 10601. It's going to be out of service.
Robin and her attorney are pushing for the state to focus more of its resources on inspections.
There's not enough inspectors qualified to make sure these trucks are safe, and that needs to happen.
If you have an unsafe truck, you might as well drive through Indiana because the chances are you're not going to be pulled over. That's a sad reality.
Gary Langston of the Indiana Motor Truck Association disagrees, saying more inspectors aren't the answer.
There isn't really any science that indicates that more inspections improve safety numbers.
Langston points to a federal study that shows 10% of crashes are caused by mechanical defects.
A company can't really afford not to focus on safety.
And a trip to Arizona.
The tractor truck that hit Robin's husband had only been on the road 18 months. One likely reason it had never been inspected by state police. Robin wonders if an inspection would have saved her husband's life, but she hopes his story will save others.
Safety needs to be enforced so accidents like this don't happen to other families.
In December, a jury awarded Robin Van Dyke $7.5 million, money she hopes to use for a scholarship in her husband's honor. Now, Celadon plans to appeal. The company's attorney declined to go on camera, but released a statement, quote, "There were no mechanical issues with the truck or trailer that had any impact on the accident." Now, we've posted their entire statement on our website, theindychannel.com, and Indiana State Police, they inspected the truck after the accident as well. They also did not find any problems with the brakes, but they also point out they're not mechanics. They are simply looking to see if the laws are being followed.
Yeah, good point. Well, Kara, is there anything that drivers can do to keep the roads safer?
Yeah, Indiana State Police, they say they want to hear from you. If you see something dangerous like a truck driving down the road or a car driving down the road with a flat tire, you can call 911 or Indiana State Police and report it.
Simple but good advice, Kara. Thank you very much.
Chances are you don't even notice them.
But you will after you see this story. We're talking about underride guards. They're those barriers on the back of trucks to keep you from sliding underneath. But after several recent crashes, our Call 6 investigators took a closer look and discovered many of those safety features might not be enough to keep you safe. Critics argue federal regulations don't go far enough and people are dying and getting hurt because of it.
Call 6 investigator Kara Kenny joins us now with details on what you can look for while you're on the road.
Well, Erica, this is an underride guard. It's required on the back of the trailer on most big trucks like this. Now, side guards are not required in the United States, even though some countries do have them. Experts we spoke with say our federal regulations are lacking, causing a driving danger that most people aren't even aware of.
You might think this will never happen to you or someone you love.
It is really the most horrific crashes that you can be involved in.
These crashes shut down Indiana highways in recent months. The drivers killed when they smashed into truck trailers. Experts tell the Call 6 investigators a deadly danger likely played a role. Inadequate guards to stop a car from sliding underneath. Take a look at the difference it can make. A weaker guard on the left, a stronger guard on the right. A major difference, especially inside the car where you sit. Bill Hutchins is one of the lucky drivers.
I thought I was dying.
He was trying to merge onto I-65 when he and a truck collided, pinning him underneath the side of the truck and dragging him for miles.
It was a hideous sound.
Bill survived, but with neck and back problems.
I can't mow the lawn. I can't do anything.
Crash analyst Bruce Enns says Bill's injuries might have been prevented if the federal government required side guards on trucks. He designed guards like these that could become popular if federal law makes them mandatory.
Right now, we see them in Australia, New Zealand, Japan, China, Europe.
Enns is a national expert based in Indianapolis who has investigated more than 7,000 crashes.
How'd you like to be sitting in that driver's seat?
And has performed dozens of his own side impact crash tests. Although rear impact guards are required by federal law, Enns says most are not strong enough to prevent death and serious injuries, even at low speeds.
A standard car coming in at 20, 25 miles an hour is got more force, more momentum than what these guards can withstand.
This is really a life or death situation.
Oh, yes.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety agrees, pointing to 260 people killed a year from cars crashing into the backs of trucks. The Institute took the issue head on, performing tests that found guards fully intact and up to date can fail and kill. Indiana State Police inspectors and troopers check to make sure trucks have a guard, but they can't test if that guard will hold up in a crash.
We don't have any equipment that's going to test that durability or tensile strength of the construction of those bumper bars.
In the past 3 years, state police have handed out more than 60 violations for inadequate guards. Inspection reports obtained by the Call 6 investigators show guards rusted, broken, missing, bent, even held up by bungee cords.
Check out this mangled, rusted, bent bumper the Call 6 investigators saw on 465. You can even see through it in some spots. The truck's from Minnesota. The driver didn't want to tell us why his underride guard violated a law aimed at protecting all of us.
We just want to ask you some questions about your bumper.
Tom, follow me.
It's assault.
You need to leave.
State police inspected the guard and confirmed the problem. Police also found a violation on this truck because its guard was not in the correct position, making it worthless to stop drivers from going under.
It's supposed to be down.
Yeah.
When you're dumping, it's allowed to be up.
I thought it was back far enough or low enough to be okay. I'll get that fixed.
Critics say the feds have been slow to toughen standards for guards. Just weeks ago, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration released a study that may lead to changes, including more stringent rear impact guard requirements. Bill Hutchins hopes those changes include requiring side impact guards, guards that might have stopped him from going underneath a truck.
That would have changed the whole accident.
Bill doesn't drive much anymore. He wasn't ticketed, but police say he failed to yield to the truck.
I'm petrified on the interstate now.
But for the millions of Hoosiers, the deadly danger remains, whether you notice it or not.
Now, trucking companies cited for inadequate guards can drive away and still remain on the road. Drivers who get a citation usually have to pay a fine around $150. Now, the Indianapolis Trucking Company ticketed in our story tells Call 6 that guard is fixed. The Minnesota company did not get back with us.
And Kara, what does the trucking industry say about all this?
Well, obviously, it would be very expensive to make all these changes, but some argue that those changes aren't even necessary in the first place. The American Trucking Associations told us, quote, "We must also focus on preventing these types of crashes in the first place because the best underride guard is the one that never needs to be used." And the Truck Trailer Manufacturers Association says this type of accident usually involves serious driver error. And we have complete statements from both of those groups online, along with a new federal study. All you have to do is just look for this story on the RTV6 app.
All right. Thank you so much, Kara Kinney.
You're welcome.